Gall. Yeah, you let me know.
We're rolling.
All right. So welcome to Sugar Crash. Listen, everyone knows, I'm going to be talking about sugar, I'm going to be talking about replacements for sugar, talking about diabetes and heart disease and all other diseases and all the problems that sugar causes. And listen, everyone knows sugar's bad, right? Raise your hand if you know sugar's bad. Keep your hand up if you still eat it, right? Because there's a lot of reasons for that. It's very addicting, we'll talk about that, but a lot of times we know it's bad, but we don't really understand how bad it is and what it does. And so I've been doing these talks for years. And today I'm going to go into all of the things, yes, all of the things that sugar does to your body, hoping at some point, that's Skittles. We even named our bunny after a sugary candy. So, no one names his animals after sugar because he doesn't eat that much candy. So we have Jelly Bean, cat, and we have Skittles the bunny. So we're going to talk about all the different things that
and strawberry.
And strawberry, the chicken.
And acorn.
But that's a healthy sugar. No, acorn's healthy. No, I'm on time. So we're going to talk about all of these things and hopefully inspire you or scare you, whatever works for you, to like start thinking about what you're putting in your body and realizing everything. It's so important what you put into your body. You can be putting things in that will bring life and health, or you can be putting things in that will poison and cause death and destruction, right? So sugar is a poison, and you wouldn't take arsenic, right? The only difference between sugar and arsenic is time. So let's talk about all these different things that sugar does. So, you know, from the Matrix, you can either be aware of what's going on or simply choose to ignore. And a lot of people go through their life ignoring. They know these things are bad. They know what they're doing is bad. They know that what's happening around them is wrong, but they just don't want to deal with it. Do you understand? They take, right from the Matrix, take the blue pill, the story ends, you wake up, believe anything you want, or you take the red pill, and now you're down a rabbit hole of all of these things that are in your health, and all of these things in the environment, and our food system, and our healthcare system, and you wake up and understand the truth about what's going on. So if you want to know the truth, sometimes it's a little overwhelming, but it's always going to benefit you. And again, it can be a little this might be a little overwhelming to some people. It's probably lock the doors. I'm just kidding. But this could be a little bit overwhelming, and that's fine. You take what you can. If you take one thing away, then you've been hugely successful, right? So I do talks every month. There's always like different focus, but I do a talk every month. And so maybe you come every month and you take one thing, and you do one thing. In a year, it'll change your entire life. And that's the whole goal, is to save lives and change lives. That's the only reason I do this, to change lives and to save lives. And of course, all truth passes through phases, right? First, it's ridiculed, then it's highly opposed, and then it's accepted. So we're in various different stages with our healthcare, with our food system. Like sugar is slowly being accepted as bad, right? Like when I became a chiropractor 26 years ago. I became a chiropractor 26 years ago, and when I became a chiropractor, it was just ridiculed. I mean, we were ridiculed. It was unbelievable. It's like, oh, you're a quack and all these things. Then it was violently opposed for many years. And now it's somewhat accepted in different places, in different circles. Even some medical doctors are sending their patients here to me to get well. So this whole sugar thing is, again, depending on where you're on the culture. If you watch TV, it's just like, oh, sugar's fine. But if you come here, it's like, oh, it's poison. So somewhere on that spectrum, we want to get you to the next level. Can I talk louder? Sure, you can come up, you move up here if you want. Just move your chair up here. Can someone turn that vibe off? All right, so here are what we're gonna look at to know if you eat too much sugar. If you eat too much sugar, if you're a woman, your waist is more than 35 inches, and for a man, it's more than 40 inches. If that's the case, you're eating too much sugar. because sugar causes you to gain weight. Fat does not make you fat. Sugar makes you fat. Sugar makes you fat. And any one of these things that we're going to be talking about could mean you can have diabetes and not know it. 1 in 4 people right now have diabetes and have no idea because it doesn't necessarily show up on a blood test. The blood tests, different types of blood tests, we could talk about all of those things, but they don't necessarily let you know. But all of these things I'm talking about, if this is happening to you, then you eat too much sugar, you're either pre-diabetic and you could be diabetic, okay? So just something simple as being overweight. Like there's a whole low fat, right? Does anyone still buy into the low fat? Right? We were always told low fat, low fat. Sugar causes weight gain, not fat. If you want to lose weight, you eat really, really good healthy fats, and we'll talk about that later. If you ever get headaches or migraines, sugar. It could be diabetes, but it's sugar. So migraines are caused by chemical stress. There are new treatments for migraines that actually cut the nerves. Has anyone heard that? Or they inject, what are that stuff they inject to make you look pretty? Botox. They inject Botox into nerves for migraines, or they cut the nerves that go to the scalp. But that's not the answer for migraines. So here, if you eat a lot of sugar, if you eat too much sugar, you release a lot of insulin and it drops your blood sugar. The arteries in your head don't get enough glucose to fuel them, and then they go into spasm. So many times it's just too much sugar causing an increase in insulin, causing a decrease in an appropriate amount of glucose that goes to your brain. And so your body compensates for all this by constricting arteries to increase blood pressure, and then it reduces blood flow and it causes a migraine. So it's important to know, you don't have to memorize this, I'm not going to quiz you, but understanding that it's not like sugar causes migraines, next. Sugar causes weight gain, next. It's like there's a real process of things that happen in your body that sugar causes this cycle of effects, and this is how sugar causes headaches. Sugar causes a chemical stress, then your body reacts, and then your body reacts. Your body reacts appropriately all the time. It's reacting appropriately to this poison, to this thing that you're putting in. It's reacting appropriately, trying to help you. The result, though, is that your body can't handle all of the things that we do to it. The result of this is you can get headaches or migraines. So if you have headaches and migraines, give up sugar. See what happens. Get adjusted, of course, but give up sugar. This could also be a sign that you're diabetic, even if you have not been diagnosed, or you're pre-diabetic. If you wake up with tingling, itching, or burning in your fingers, same thing. Sugar, the same reaction, it restricts nerves. And you could have tingling, you could have swelling in the arteries in your neck, and then swelling in the nerves. So like if you press on your funny bone, you get tingling in your fingers. When you eat sugar, it can cause pressure in your spinal cord, in your neck, and in the nerves in your neck, and those shoot down to your arms. Of course, bones do that, and adjustments help that also. But that's another thing with if you eat too much sugar over long periods of time, it does cause a neuropathy. It does cause a decrease in blood flow, a decrease in a decrease in nerve flow, and it will cause burning. So people lose their toes when they're diabetic, right? That's because there's not getting enough nerve flow to their feet. So it starts at your extremities, or they have diabetic neuropathy, where you can't feel your feet, you have numbness or tingling in your feet or your hands. This is a sign that you're eating too much sugar, and you could be diabetic and not know it. Chronic sinus allergies or runny nose. I bet a lot of people have this. A lot of people have sinus issues. Can you hear me now? Okay. A lot of people have sinus issues. If you eat too much sugar, it's not just so. Sugar turns into fat, but sugar is also excreted. Your body tries to get rid of some excess sugar by creating mucus. So because sugar is an irritant, your body will make mucus to surround it and protect you from it. Then you have all this extra mucus in your mouth, your throat, your sinuses, your nose, and your body. And you get this chronic runny nose. So many children, I treat a lot of children, and so many children come in with chronic runny nose, chronic problems. A lot of adults have the chronic sinus problems. And of course, getting adjusted helps, but getting rid of sugar will all of a sudden remove that mucus. Your body won't need to make it. Your body is making it to protect you from the sugar. And sinuses are dark, they're warm, and they're moist, and bacteria love that. And bacteria love sugar. So you have sugar and you have bacteria, and the sugar feeds the bacteria. And now you have these chronic infections, right? And high sugar affects your nervous system. White blood cells need vitamin C to be effective 20 times more than any other cell. White blood cells need more vitamin C than any other cell to even be effective. And vitamin C competes with sugar and loses for your cells. So if there's vitamin C hanging around and there's sugar hanging around, sugar gets into your cells and not vitamin C. Isn't that interesting? So that's one way that sugar lowers your immune system and makes you more immune compromised. Sugar also feeds cancer, and vitamin C kills cancer cells. But you have to stop eating the sugar for the vitamin C to kill the cancer cells. Because if you're eating sugar, the sugar will get into the cancer cells. The vitamin C won't, and then the vitamin C won't kill the cancer cells. I'm going to be doing a cancer killer talk soon. So.
A cancer what?
A cancer killer. Like, what causes cancer?
Sugar.
Sugar is a fuel for it, and one of the causes of it, for sure. Definitely. As well as any kind of inflammatory problem is sugar. And cancer cells have a higher affinity for glucose, and they have 50 times more receptors than regular cells for sugar. So cancer cells have, like regular cell has one receptor for sugar, or a certain amount of receptors, and it takes sugar in for energy. Cancer cells have 50 times more. So if you have cancer and you eat sugar, you're just fueling that cancer. You are feeding it. You are nourishing it with that sugar. Many times you have cancer, you don't know it. Most people don't know they have cancer until it's too late. So eating sugar is going to, whether or not you have it, or you could have just a few cells. When you eat sugar, you're feeding that cancer. If you're taking vitamin C and the vitamin C can actually kill the cancer cells, vitamin C will kill cancer better than any chemotherapy. Vitamin C is actually like a chemotherapy with no side effects. But if you're eating sugar, the vitamin C you're taking is not going to kill the cancer cells because it's not going to get in. So for this reason alone, I stopped eating sugar 10 years ago. Just for this reason alone, and I take a lot of vitamin C. Plus you feel better. But no one wants cancer. Everyone is afraid of cancer. This is what you can do to prevent or to even kill cancer when you have it, is to get rid of sugar. You stop feeding it, you starve it. So sugar feeds cancer. And if you're tired all the time, you're eating too much sugar. Right? Your cells are desperate for glucose. Like if you eat sugar, your body's going to be a sugar burner. If you don't eat sugar, your body is going to have to burn fat. Now, burning fat is ideal because fat is a great fuel, efficient fuel for your body. It's like putting the best gas in your car. Fat. Sugar is dirty. It burns dirty. You need a lot of it consistently to have energy. But when you eat sugar, you only can burn sugar, and then you need to consistently eat the sugar to get more energy. And it doesn't burn really well. You don't get a lot of energy from it. When you stop eating sugar after a little while and eat a lot of healthy fat, your body will burn fat. That's keto. It's being in ketosis. So you're burning fat, and you'll have a ton of energy, extended energy. You won't even need to eat as much at all. You need to eat 1 or 2 meals a day, right? You feel good. So, but cells, when you're a sugar burner, your cells are desperate for sugar. But the sugar can't get in because when you eat too much sugar, you release a lot of insulin, right? So here's what diabetes is. If you have a high blood sugar, this is all right?
Yes,
Okay. There's a lot of information. Just want to make sure everyone's getting it. So, if your blood sugar gets too high, do you know what happens? You die. You slip into a coma and die. That's what diabetes is, high blood sugar. That's why you take insulin. Insulin takes the sugar out of the blood and stores it as fat in the cells. And if you're constantly putting sugar in your blood, your pancreas is constantly releasing insulin and shoving that sugar in the cells, and then the cells become resistant, insulin resistant. Now you're diabetic, now you're insulin resistant. Because you're just all this sugar, your cells can't hold any more sugar, so you can't get any more sugar in there. And now your cells that are only capable of burning sugar can't get sugar, and now you have no energy. I mean, the cure for diabetes is to stop eating sugar. That's one of them. So then you don't put sugar in your body, and then you clean your cells out. There's a couple of other things that you do, but you can reverse diabetes. Will reverse in 1 to 8 weeks if you do what you need to do. 1 to 8 weeks, you'll be non-diabetic. If you follow these things. I've seen it consistently across the board. I have someone who will do a testimonial later maybe about getting off sugar. You want to do it now? Come up here. Well, just because of this video, I don't know how to turn it.
Oh, okay.
Is that okay? So Michelle's going to talk about her experience. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
Thank you. I don't put you on a spot. Didn't know you
No,
were
that's
coming.
okay. That's okay. My name's Michelle, and when I started with Dr. Allie, when I started with Dr. Allie a few months ago, coming for adjustments, one of my main reasons was because I was type 2 diabetic, and I was on medication, and I started with adjustments. I was working on my nutrition myself. I lost 10 pounds myself, but then kind of hit a plateau and couldn't move any further. When I started working actually with a nutritionist who works in this building, and cut out sugar, low to no carb diet. When I have a carb, I match it with a protein, and I've, up to this point, after 4 weeks, have lost an additional 10 pounds, continue to lose the weight. But literally within days of eliminating sugar and eating the right foods in the right balance, in days my blood sugar numbers were normal. And a week ago, my doctor took me off of my diabetic medication. And and it's hard work in the beginning because it's such a change for you. And because your body's used to it, you crave it. And you want the sugar and you want the bad food. But once you do it for, even for a couple of weeks, like at least for me, my body doesn't even crave it anymore. And like Dr. Allie said, you don't even need as much food.
Yeah.
Because your body is fueled properly, and what you intake is so good for you, it lasts longer. And you do have more energy. But when she says you can reverse it, you can reverse it, and you can reverse it quickly just by eating the right thing. And I have to add exercise. So I do exercise as well, moving. I do yoga, and I do work on the treadmill. Not excessively, 30 minutes a day on the treadmill. Yoga 2 to 3 times a week, again here. Totally reversed. In a couple of weeks off meds.
Great job. So that's not the exception, that's normal. So in 26 years, I've seen people, that's consistently what I see. A week or 2 or 3 off medication.
And it's hard to believe when someone
Right,
tells
it
you
is.
that. It's really hard to believe that it's possible, but it's completely.
It is.
Completely.
Because you're told that if you have diabetes, you can't reverse it. But that's because there's no pill that can reverse it.
Right.
So the system, the healthcare system, that's just managing your disease, not managing your health. So they manage your disease with insulin. They don't understand what's causing the dis-ease in your body. But when you address what's causing the problem, the dis-ease, you reverse it. So they just don't know. So you teach them. I have a lot of patients who tell their doctors, this is what I did, and some of them listen and some of them don't, right? All right, and so, yeah, when you eat a lot of sugar, your blood becomes thicker, like sugar water. And that's just gross. You can't get oxygen or nutrients to your cells, and that's when they can, and when you can't get oxygen and nutrients to your cells, that's when a cell will mutate to become cancer. It's not getting enough oxygen. And then you finally get diagnosed years and years and years later, but you don't want to wait for diagnosis. You want to just change your lifestyle now so that you feel better and that you're healthy. You want to avoid, you can reverse it, but if you don't have it, you may as well just change now and never get it, right? Because you can do that. And of course, you want to avoid cancer, right? Severe acne during your teens or even as an adult is sugar. Sugar releases insulin, releases IGF-1, which produces an oily substance from your glands, and then it promotes the growth of skin cells. So even skin tags are too much sugar. Acne is excessive amount of cells being made. And
Dr. Allie, you said skin tags?
Skin tags are too much sugar. Because sugar releases insulin, goes to this thing, and then it promotes the growth of skin cells. So if you have acne or if you have excess growth of skin tags, that's too much sugar causing that by that pathway, by the insulin IGF pathway. And it makes dead skin cells faster due to insulin. They clump together. You get skin tags, you get acne. And so most of the time, teenagers are eating too much sugar. I mean, it's also hormonal, but sugar also makes your liver not able to manage your hormones as well. Because sugar can cause fatty liver, just like alcohol can cause fatty liver. Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
It's so good to stop eating sugar. It feels so good. I gave it up 10 years ago, and I felt better the next day. The first day I didn't eat it, I felt better. Literally, I felt better. I was like, wow, I already felt better. But you know what I hated about eating sugar was that I craved it. I felt like I was controlled by it. Like if I traveled, I had to bring chocolate just in case I couldn't get like my organic chocolate wherever I was going. And I was like an addict. I was like, I would eat chocolate chips if I didn't have chocolate out of the bag. Felt like I felt like an addict. I was an addict. You know, it's like other things that people do when they're addicted to things. But I was like, you know, mainlining chocolate chips. And I hated that feeling of being controlled by that substance. So I stopped eating it. And it's just so good. It just feels so good. Itchy, burning, tingling, and then we talked a little bit about this. So if you have some of these things, especially in your feet, if you're not a diabetic, you are very close to being diagnosed with diabetes. And people who are diabetic, 70% will get this. And that's how people lose feet, and that's how people have sores, because there's not enough nerve flow to their extremities. There's just not enough nerve because of the inflammation in the clogged arteries. There's not enough nerve flow, and that's when you have a sore, right? You've seen that. I mean, there are pictures. I thought about putting pictures of that up just to be, but there's no need. You can imagine. So the sores can't heal on your feet. And people lose their feet. They lose their toes because of this. So if you have this, you have to be really, really careful. Like you're headed for a diagnosis of diabetes. Swollen nerves push up against muscle and bone, causing compression, and they can no longer send impulses. And what suffers is your extremities first. After that, and your eyes. Like most blindness is from diabetes and from sugar, most. And then your organs. And then almost everyone who has diabetes at some point will be put on dialysis, right? I had someone who was on dialysis for 5 years. In a week he was off insulin, but he had already done irreparable damage to his kidneys, so he was still on dialysis. but he was no longer diabetic in a week. If someone had gotten to him before dialysis, it would have changed his life, right? And people will say, well, I enjoy sugar, I like sugar. But you have to like being healthy more than you like sugar. You have to like not being sick more than you like sugar. There's so many, once you give it up, you feel so good, you don't care at all about it. It doesn't even taste good anymore. After I gave up sugar 10 years ago, I found this, it's like a drug addict. I found this little blueberry chocolate in my pantry, this little piece. I was like, I can eat a little sugar. I literally put it in my mouth, and I had to spit it out. It tasted so bad. I couldn't even eat it because I didn't like that flavor anymore. It was funny. I was like, and then I literally went to the garbage and spit it out. So any kind of oral hygiene problem, any kind of swelling in your gums, periodontal disease, root canal, sugar is causing that the same reason. It's not letting nerve flow to your teeth. It's causing inflammation. It's damaging your body's ability to absorb nutrients, so you can not absorb calcium and magnesium and all these other minerals, then you have bone loss. And you'll see that in your teeth even before you see it in your bones sometimes. So you'll have bad teeth, rotting teeth, and then next time you get a bone scan or whatever those things are called, I should know that, I'm on live. Whatever those things are, checks your bone density, like a bone density test, you'll have osteopenia or osteoporosis, but it's all started with sugar and your body's not able to absorb nutrients. And so here's the skin tags or dark velvety spots, same thing. Insulin stimulates the growth of excess skin. Sometimes that's how I know if someone's diabetic or pre-diabetic, because they have skin tags. You see the skin tags, you're gonna have diabetes soon. You're eating too much sugar. There's a lot of other signs of eating too much sugar, but that's one of them. And velvety spots are even bigger sign. Cutting sugar will not make these skin tags go away, but they'll prevent more, and of course, prevent you from getting sick, obviously. But once it's there, because your body already made it. Guys getting significantly disgusted by sugar? Yeah. You need reasons to not eat it, because it's so easy to eat it. It's a very serious addictive drug that is not only socially acceptable, but it's pushed on us. So I have patients who go to work and there's cupcakes and they're like, oh no, thank you. Oh, what's the matter? Oh, you're so extreme with your diet. They get harassed and bullied because they won't eat the sugar. Even if they don't tell anyone they're not eating sugar, people know that they're not eating sugar and they harass them about it. So you're gonna get pushback because no one wants to see you not eating sugar, because that means that they have to stop, or that means that they can stop and they maybe don't want to. So I see this a lot. I've been seeing this for years. I had a patient who had very severe Crohn's disease. She was in her late 60s, and at the point where she came in, the doctors were telling her she didn't have long to live because she couldn't eat anything. She'd eat rice. Her hair was falling out. She was severely malnourished. She couldn't eat anything. She had massive swelling, and she said, "What do I do?" I said, "Well, you have to stop eating rice because that turns to sugar." That was the only thing she could eat. I started adjusting her, giving her some green powder to nourish her, drinking green juice. She recovered, reversed her Crohn's disease, and was completely amazingly healthy. And her children that were grown still gave her a hard time. What do you mean you're not going to eat the cake? It's my daughter's birthday. She's like, I was about to die. And they don't, it's just an amazing amount of pressure that you get no matter what's going on. It's not that her kids didn't love her, but it's just the social pressure, even in a situation like that where her life was saved. So you're going to get that. You're going to get the pushback, like, oh, what's the matter? There's even some kind of diagnosis in the DSM of excess, when you don't want to eat processed food. They give it a name. I don't even know what it's called. Not anorexia, but something like that. Oh, people who, and it says, and you don't eat processed food or junk. That's that's what you're diagnosed with. That's your extreme psychological disorder. So just understand that when you make these changes, People are going to think you're crazy. Oh, restless leg, same thing. Restless leg, same nerve issue. If you have restless leg, you're eating too much sugar. Or eating too much sugar can cause that. Nobody wants that. Anyone ever experienced that restless leg? It's terribly uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. Like people can't sleep. If you can't sleep, your body can't heal or function, right?
Every time I eat fried food,
Uh-huh.
my body
You get that?
is fun.
Yeah, because bad fats can also cause inflammation, just like sugar.
And
Yeah.
does that restless legs mean at the day, during the day too?
It could be during the day.
During the
Well,
day, they're like-
it's mostly at night. Like during the day, if I sit too long, I'll do that because I can't sit. I don't like sitting. I get very energetic. But during the day, it could just be that you're sitting a lot and you're like, your body wants to move. Mostly that's at night when you have no control over it, is when it's going to shake.
Mine be painful.
Yes, and it can be very painful and very uncomfortable, definitely. It can be leg cramps. No, leg cramps is more of like a magnesium deficiency or a mineral deficiency. This is when your legs like they shake and they tingle and they spasm. Yeah.
The cramps can also be lack of proper hydration.
Yeah, definitely dehydration. Most people are dehydrated. Most people don't drink enough water. Gallbladder. Too much sugar will cause sluggish and sludgy bile. You can get gallbladder stones, and you get your gallbladder removed. Then you can't even digest fat. There are things to do to flush out gallbladder stones. I will not talk about what it is live because it's a little controversial, but I'll tell you in private. But high carbs, any carbs, sugar, same thing, raises your triglycerides. If you have high triglycerides in your blood, you're probably close to becoming a diabetic, even if your blood sugar is normal, by the way. It encourages the formation of stones. Damage to the nerves that control the gallbladder keeps it from contracting. So the gallbladder doesn't contract to get rid of the bile. The bile backs up, it becomes sludgy, it forms small stones that don't pass and then become bigger and bigger. So gallbladder. But you can flush stones out and you can stop eating sugar and you can stop doing this. And you can avoid having your gallbladder removed. Okay? But that's what sugar does to your gallbladder. And heartburn, upset stomach, constipation, diarrhea, same thing. Damages the nerve to digestive system, causes an imbalance in the bacteria and the fungus and the candida in your digestive system. Can't digest food properly. It causes you to crave more sugar, which causes more damage. Your stomach won't empty sometimes. It just all of the there's a lot of information. There's a lot of pathways that are being affected. And those antacid drugs are terrible. If you have like a stomach ulcer, a stomach acid, you take your stomach needs more acid, not less. So you take HCl, hydrochloric acid, to increase your stomach acid to digest your food better. You don't want to take an antacid. Antacid blocks absorption of B12, and B12 is important for healthy nerves, and and it lowers magnesium. It makes neuropathy and it makes the problem worse, and it makes your stomach try to produce more acid, but then the stomach contents can't release because the nerves are damaged. It's just a big disaster. And honestly, most of the drugs that you take will make a lot of your problems worse and cause other problems because it's just a chemical that your body is reacting to. Like if you need high blood pressure medication so you don't die, you take high blood pressure medication while we fix your heart and fix your body so that you don't need the high blood pressure medication anymore. But you take it while you need it. You may need to take insulin or metformin while you fix the underlying problem and then wean off of it. All of the drugs should only be temporary to keep you alive while you fix your body so that you don't need them anymore. It's always about finding the underlying cause of your problem and fixing it so you don't need the drugs anymore. It's not like, here's a pill that you have to take for how long? The rest of your life. That's what it all is. It's always for the rest of your life. For the rest of your life, clearly the pill is not curing you or fixing anything. It's managing your disease. So you can choose to manage your disease, or you can choose to manage your health. Manage your health. Choose to manage your health. That's what I teach here. Manage your health. Yeah, maybe you need your meds, but then you wean off them as you get healthy, and then you don't need them anymore. No one wants to manage disease. Nothing good is going to come from that. You're just prolonging your problem. You're making your problem worse. All your problems are getting worse and worse and worse as you're ignoring them. It's like putting a piece of duct tape over your oil light and hoping your engine doesn't explode, but your engine is going to explode. You're just not going to know when because there's no oil light. It's the same exact thing. All right. Oh, frequent bladder or yeast infections.
Wow.
Same thing. Excess sugar excreted in your urine, which is a breeding ground for bacteria. The sugar feeds the bacteria, and now you have an infection. And a yeast infection is the same thing. Sugar feeds yeast. Yeast is a fungus, and it's a mold which grows and expands and can go anywhere in your body, which it will. And then the more yeast you have in your body, the more you crave sugar. And the sugar feeds the yeast and makes it even take over. And so again, it causes mucus, moist environment. It's just it's like really all the same thing. Sugar damages nerves, sugar feeds bad things, it feeds yeast, it feeds bacteria, bacteria cause problems. And also gout. So people think gout is meat, which sometimes it can be bad meat, but sugar can be linked to gout. Fructose was shown to directly increase uric acid levels. So sugar directly increases uric acid levels in the blood by hindering the excretion of uric acid by the kidneys. When the liver metabolizes sugar, ATP is broken down for energy, and this increases the formation of uric acid. Too much uric acid in the blood will cause it to crystallize into sharp crystals, which gets lodged in your extremities. That's how sugar causes gout. You don't have to understand all of it, doesn't matter, but that's how it does it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, too much sugar lead to a stroke?
It can lead to a stroke by causing inflammation in your arteries and your veins and your nerves. Yes. Yeah.
Mucus isn't restricted strictly to a cold or sinus.
No. Mucus, like it can be anywhere in your body, and your body makes mucus to protect you from something in your body. It's protecting you. It's trying to get rid of something. It's like forming around something bad and trying to get it out of your body. So if you're doing these things, you're creating mucus. Mucus could be in your colon, it could be in your lungs, it could be in your sinuses, it could be in your brain, it could just be anywhere. Your body will your body does everything, always doing the right thing at the right time. But you're not taking good care of your body, so your body has to try and manage all of these crazy things we do to it, and sometimes it just can't keep up. But your body is always doing the right thing at the right time. Even cancer is a survival mechanism that your body's trying to protect you. Cancer is just a survival mechanism that doesn't turn off, which is why you develop tumors. Fever is your body trying to kill a bacteria or a virus. Anything that's happening in your body is always doing the right thing. Even diabetes is the right thing. Diabetes is a reaction to the right thing. Your body releases insulin to try to save you. It's just everything is always happening for a reason. Don't think that these are just bad things that are happening to you, or it's genetic or whatever it is. Your body's doing something to protect you or to keep you alive. We just have to figure out what you're doing that's causing that response so you stop doing it. So, here is sugar. Everyone is addicted to sugar. You were born addicted to sugar. Well, because it's like you were born addicted to cocaine, same thing. So, sugar, cocaine, heroin, obesity, all of these things triggers your brain opioids, and your brain reacts with makes you feel happy. Like people take heroin because it makes them feel good or something. Heroin triggers the same reaction in your brain that sugar does. You eat sugar and it releases these opioids and it lights up these pleasure centers in your brain that make you feel good. That's why it's comfort food. You have a bad day, you eat some sugar, and you're happy for a little while because of your brain chemistry.
Donut?
Yeah,
Once in a while?
exactly. So, but you can do it once in a while, it's fine. But if you're doing it all the time, so you become addicted by making your own morphine or heroin, basically. Your body reacts. Sugar is like morphine. Sugar is like heroin. It's actually sugar is more addictive than cocaine.
Really?
It's more addictive than cocaine. That's why you have to be careful when you eat it. Because when you eat it, you want more. I mean, I don't know. I've never gotten high or anything. But I know people who have done these things in college or whatever. No, you don't just do one line of cocaine like, oh, that was interesting, and never do it again. Like you want more and more and more because of what it does to your brain. It's the same thing with sugar. Again, that's because it's socially acceptable. You think about what cocaine is. Like if you drink tea from a cocoa leaf, it's perfectly healthy for you. People do it in Peru all the time. But if you take that leaf and you process it and make it into a fine white powder and snort it up your nose, now you're high from cocaine. If you take a sugar cane and you process it and make it into a fine white powder, it's having the same effect in your body that cocaine is having. You're isolating a nutrient and you're changing it and you're concentrating it, and it's going to affect your brain in a chemical way. It's going to affect the chemistry of your brain. There are sweet receptors on your tongue that make you like it. Abnormally high stimulation causes excessive reward signals to the brain. The more you eat, the more you want. Eat a little, eat a lot,
Yeah.
want more and more and more and more. It triggers these reward centers in your brain. So it's like this biochemistry of your brain happening that you don't understand. And it overrides normal self-control, right? It creates tolerance and withdrawal symptoms. So doesn't sugar override normal self-control? I meant like when I was, eating chocolate chips, I understood that I had no self-control over that. And I recognized it and I didn't like it. But that's what that was. But it does override normal self-control because it's just this massive chemistry in your brain, like telling you more and more and more, this feels so good. Oh my gosh, it feels good. I want to do more. And it leads to addiction. So, it may be not impossible. It's really hard to overwhelm this biochemical, and genetic drive. It's a biological, biochemical, and genetic drive to eat this stuff. So that's why you just stop eating it. And then over time, you can control it. I can eat a little bit of sugar once in a while. Like I would say 6 years ago, we went out for dinner on Thanksgiving. And it was one of these places, it was like this fancy thing, and everything was included. And it came with like this piece of cake, this chocolate cake for dessert. And I was like, I think I'll eat that. Like I hadn't eaten sugar in like 5 years. My boys were like staring at me, like watching, like they'd never seen me eat sugar. They couldn't believe that I was eating it, and I ate it. And I was like, I kind of felt sick and shaky and had restless leg that night. And they were like, Mommy, does this mean you're eating sugar? Are you going to eat sugar again? I'm like, nah. Because it was something that was like, I hadn't done it in so many years. I ate it. I was like, that wasn't so great. And then I didn't do it again. I never did it again. But it was interesting how I did feel sick even from that one night doing it. But I didn't feel like I wanted more because I had kind of gotten past this. I was able to control it more. So once you give it up, you don't want it anymore. But you can have it once in a while. But if you eat it and then want more, you're not ready. Not ready. So really you have to eliminate it for a while. I mean, if you have any kind of health issue, you just eliminate it. If you want to get better, you just eliminate it. Right? Just cold turkey. 3 days, you'll be like, oh, that wasn't so bad. I mean, honestly, most people over the years who do it, like, they're like freaking out, ready to run out of my office when I'm like, you're sick, you need to stop eating sugar now. Like, this is serious. And they they have to lock the door. 3 days later, they come in, how you doing? Oh, you know what? That wasn't so bad. Consistently, for years, I hear that. It's not just one or two. It's like, oh yeah, that was fine. 3 days later, yeah, that wasn't so bad. And they already feel better. They already feel better. So it's amazing how controlled we are. We're so controlled. You don't. I mean, that's kind of easy to break out of, but we are so. Right. You don't want to be controlled by anything. Right? You want to be in control of your life and your health. And the only way to do it, break the chains and understand that that's bad, right? Understand that it's bad. Like again, you all knew it was bad, but did anyone know it was this bad? No one knew that sugar was this bad. No, nobody knows it's this bad. Most people eat 160 pounds of sugar a year. You know how much is okay to eat? Like 8.
8 pounds?
I think maybe 8 pounds a year.
A year?
A year. I mean, I wouldn't do any, but 8 pounds a year. But most people can, like average is 160 pounds a year. So if I'm not eating any sugar, is there someone eating 320 pounds of sugar a year? If Michelle's not eating any sugar, who's eating 300 pounds of sugar a year, right? And it damages your nerves, it damages your body. Bad stuff, yes.
So I have neuropathy,
Yes,
and that's the result of sugar.
yes. But when you reduce the sugar, when you get adjusted, and when you do a little detox, you can reverse neuropathy. There's some vitamins also that you could take to reverse neuropathy, like B12. But you don't know if it's permanent. It doesn't necessarily mean it's permanent if you have it. It just means that you have to do this now. If you have any kind of neuropathy, you have to change now, so that you don't further the disease and your body can actually heal, reduce the inflammation, and then you can get better, right? For all that sugar.
Wow.
Yes.
You just talked about vitamin B's.
Yeah. B12
Okay,
for
so
neuropathy in your feet.
when you go to the pharmacy and you see all these vitamins,
You have to be careful about buying vitamins
yes.
because most vitamins are synthetic, which means then you can't even absorb them. So they might be cheap, but you could take a whole bottle and absorb like 1% of it. So, and you've even seen Whole Foods with like, I'm on video, with their like aisles and aisles of vitamins. Most of those vitamins, or a lot of those vitamins, are really even hard to absorb from there. CVS, Target, they're synthetic. That's why my vitamin shelf is very, very small, because I find things that are absorbable in a whole food with no additives or chemicals. So you have to be careful about B12. I can show you a B12 after that you can absorb. But yeah, B12 for neuropathy, because B12 is hindered when you have that. So B12 will help increase the healing of your nerves, getting adjusted like you're doing.
So then we're just spending our money on these vitamins.
You're spending money on these vitamins, you're not absorbing any, and in fact you're taking in chemicals and preservatives and additives. Is actually worse. You're better off taking nothing than cheap vitamins. When you take really good vitamins, some of them are more expensive, some of them aren't. Well, they're probably more expensive, but you don't need as much. I mean, there are certain vitamins that everybody needs to take, that everyone is deficient in magnesium, everyone, because it's not in our food supply. Everyone is deficient in vitamin D, because nobody lays out in the sun anymore or gets enough sun. And even if they do, they wear sunscreen, which you shouldn't really wear. So vitamin D and magnesium and calcium are just basic things that people should take. You don't necessarily need a lot of vitamins. You're better off getting your nutrients from good quality food, because you absorb it better. Okay, so it's not like you need to go and take 20 vitamins. Maybe take a couple of vitamins, eat healthier, eat better quality food. You're going to get more vitamins that way. Okay?
So when you're like in my, just an example,
Yeah.
I was found with a low vitamin D deficiency.
Right, low vitamin D.
So the doctor prescribed over the counter.
Right.
So
Yes, that's fine. Vitamin D is important to take, and that it should be in a liquid and fat, and that's important to take. But in the summer, get out in the sun and expose your body to the sun. That's a better vitamin D. So in the summer, maybe take less vitamin D, or get it out in the sun as much as you can. They say expose as much of your body to the sun as you can, as much as you can, all summer. And then check your vitamin D levels, and then take vitamin D. Yeah, you don't get skin, you know what? The sun prevents skin cancer, doesn't cause it. And then in the winter you take vitamin D. I hear all.
I'm sorry.
No, I don't care. It's funny. No, it's fine. But no, it's true, because I was thinking of that. People think the sun causes skin cancer. It doesn't. Most sunscreens cause skin cancer. That's a whole nother talk. I could talk till midnight if you want. It's so sugar's everywhere, right? It's in yogurt. It's in granola bars. Like, you think you're eating healthy granola bars, it's all sugar. Most yogurt is a lot of sugar. Most deli meats, ketchup. Like, we have sugar. I love ketchup. We have sugar-free ketchup that's sweetened with xylitol or erythritol, stevia. Those are all good things. So instead of eating sugar, you use xylitol, erythritol, or stevia. Those things do not affect insulin. They taste sweet, and they're safe for your body. So instead of eating chocolate chips, I make brownies with coconut flour and xylitol and butter and eggs, and there's no grains, no carbs, no sugar. Just healthy fat. But it tastes like brownies. So there's a lot of really good recipes. We have stuff that's already made here. We have ice cream that is just high in healthy fat and has no sugar in it, sweetened with erythritol or xylitol. Have some water. Water. Can you have Andrea get me water? Have some water. So you can eat that Rebel ice cream and there's no sugar. Or, you know, I just make brownies. These brownies. You can make chocolate chip cookies with almond flour and sugar-free chocolate chips and xylitol. And it tastes like chocolate. Oh, thanks. I wanted my food thing. Thank you. I appreciate it. So there's a lot of things that you can do. You can make almost anything without grains and sugar.
So you talk a lot about sugar, and I think, and my assumption is the refined type of sugar.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay.
I will thank you. That's a good point. So sugar is sugar. It's brown sugar. It's maple syrup. It's honey. It's raw honey. It's raw sugar. It's turbinado sugar. It's brown rice syrup. It's molasses. It's agave. It's corn syrup. Not stevia. Stevia's good. Xylitol's good. Some stevia has sugar in it, but stevia's okay. It's rice. It's brown rice. It's corn. It's wheat. It's whole wheat. It's whole grain. It's almost everything you eat turns to sugar. Right? All of fruit. Most fruits have been not genetically modified, although some have. They've been like crossbred to have, like grapes, have no seeds in them and they're all sugar. Whereas you eat thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm like losing my voice. You eat a grape, a Concord grape. It's like this thick skin. It's mostly seeds. You have to chew it. It's very sour. Then you have like a grape. There's no seeds and it's just sugar. You're just eating candy. Sorry. Those are high glycemic fruits. I don't even eat fruit. Very little. Hardly any fruit.
Grapes?
Grapes and peaches and plums. You have to be very careful. If you're diabetic or if you're sick or cancer, if you're trying to limit your sugar, you have to limit your fruit.
Did you say figs? Someone on
Yes, figs. Yes.
With the-
Figs are bad. No figs, no dates. Those are very high, especially like raisins, any kind of dried fruit, but no, figs are very high in sugar. So really, when people say eat fruits and vegetables, just eat vegetables.
Bananas?
Bananas are very high in sugar. So low glycemic fruits are okay in moderation. Berries, strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, blackberries, green apples, grapefruits are low glycemic. Avocado is one of the best foods you can ever eat. That's a fruit, but it's a fat. Everyone should eat an avocado every single day, or two. Every day. It's good for your body, it's good for your brain, it gives you real energy. It reduces your cravings for sugar because it's a good quality, healthy fat.
What
But that was a good question about the sugar. Does that make sense? All those grains turn to sugar. Oats turns to sugar.
I like those Gala apples with a little cinnamon. Is that?
There's a little higher in sugar than the green apples, but just don't overdo it. It's fine. You know, you don't want to overdo it. Again, if you have something you're trying to fix, anything with inflammation, heart disease, cancer, anything, diabetes, you want to reduce your sugar. So you do green apples instead.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, so all of these things that we think that are healthy, like dried fruit and all those things, that's all sugar. Yes.
So you said the stevia was good.
Stevia is good. You can
but-
sweeten anything with
and then you
stevia.
said there was some sugar.
So some, you have to look at, so some stevia packets actually have added sugar. It's like bad, it's like really false, it's false, fake news. It's like slick marketing, you know? Say no added sugar.
Wow, it is everywhere.
It's everywhere. So how do you cope with cravings? So when
That's
I
the
got
fear
off,
right there.
right. But you can make that with coconut flour and almond flour and xylitol and grass-fed heavy cream whipped up with powdered xylitol, and then you're good. You can make anything. You can make donuts. You can make anything. You can make anything. It's not hard. You just look up keto, and then you just chocolate cake. Keto ice cream. Keto brownies. Just Keto. Keto just means high in healthy fat and very, very, very low to no carbs. So yes, you can make that healthy. And when you make that healthy, when I eat chocolate, the brownies, it's coconut flour, which is a good quality healthy fat, some protein. Then you have eggs, which is also really good quality, easily digestible fat. Butter, grass-fed butter is good for your brain. It's good for it's good for your body. Butter is really good for reducing inflammation. There's cocoa in it. Chocolate has a lot of magnesium and manganese. There's a lot of good stuff in it. So you're really eating like a health food, and it's going to taste like cake. So you can make that. If you make coconut flour cake, you can eat it for breakfast because it's what it's made with. Like you feel like you're cheating, but you're not. But that's how I got off sugar. I just made stuff like that, and then it tastes better. So eat high protein eat high protein sometime during the day. Breakfast. I'll talk about intermittent fasting if you want to. That bulletproof coffee. It's coffee. It's if I don't drink coffee, but if you drink coffee, you can put grass-fed butter in it, or grass-fed heavy cream, or coconut oil in it. It adds fat and it fills you up, and that's good to reduce sugar cravings. All healthy fats will reduce sugar cravings because your body is just going to be full. Cravings is your body's way of asking for the fat it's not getting, really. Your body's not getting fat for fuel, so you crave sugar, and your body's hoping that you can turn that sugar into fat, and then it can use that fat to burn, but it won't. The more sugar you eat, the more fat you gain. You're not going to burn the fat on your body until you stop eating sugar. You're not going to lose the weight until you stop eating sugar. Your body's going to only burn the sugar you're eating, and that's it. It's not going to burn those stores of fat until you stop eating sugar and your body switches over to the keto, to burning fat instead of sugar. Then you'll just burn your fat. And then your body becomes really efficient. You're hardly hungry. You have a ton of energy. And you feel really good and you have no cravings. Stay hydrated. So staying hydrated reduces sugar. So I hate drinking water. I've done a video about this. I hate drinking water. Who hates drinking water? So many people. This is how I will drink this in one go.
That's good.
Okay, 2 gulps. But if you don't like drinking water, and you want to stay, most people are dehydrated. If you don't like drinking water, fill up a bottle of water and chug it and you're done. Then that's it. You have to sip. It's like, otherwise it's sitting at your desk, it's staring at you and like mocking you. Like, and you're like scared of it. You're like, oh, sweet water. If you just chug it, it's over, and you feel like you just accomplished something really good because you did, and then you're like, own that water. Hey, Suzanne. Maybe you're bored. Like today I had someone come in, he's like, I know he used to do really, really good, and then he's like not doing well. He's not eating well, but he did great. He got off all his diabetes medication. He's not back on any of his medication, even though he's eating bad. It's interesting, he's not diabetic again, but he's gained weight. And he's like, I'm just eating a lot of junk at night. I'm like, get a hobby. What do you like doing? Do something fun. It's just distracting. It's a distraction. It's just either a habit, you sit around and eat junk, or you're just bored, and it makes you feel good. So I said, find a hobby. Read or something, or do whatever you want. What have you always wanted to learn how to do? Spend your time at night doing that instead of on the screens or eating junk, right?
What's L-glutamine?
L-glutamine is an amino acid that heals your gut. It's interesting because it's called glutamine, your colon. So when your colon is irritated from sugar, holes develop in the mesh lining of your colon, and waste goes into your body cavity and cause autoimmune reaction. Like most autoimmune diseases are caused by damaged colon lining. So your colon lining is mesh, nutrients can leave, but bad things leave your body, right? The waste leaves your body. But if you eat a lot of sugar and grains and bad fats, it can cause holes, and the waste goes into your body, and then your body attacks itself. You have autoimmune disease. L-glutamine is an amino acid. It's over there. It's a powder. You just take a little bit every day, and it glues your colon back together. So glutamine glues. It closes up those holes so your body can heal, and it helps with sugar cravings.
Wow.
I'll talk about salt. Is very important. Most people don't eat enough salt. So salt, not the white stuff that you find in the store, because that's highly processed, bleached, acidic, and there's 3 minerals in it: sodium chloride and maybe iodine. If you eat pink Himalayan salt, have you heard of that?
Yes.
You can get it anywhere now. You can get it like at Marshall's. They have it in there, right? Pink Himalayan salt is from the Himalayas. It has 84 minerals in it. It's like taking a mineral supplement, and it's alkalizing to your body. And in fact, most people are deficient in minerals and sodium and salt. And so when you start reducing sugar, you have to eat more salt, because your body needs it. And your body needs, sugar holds onto fluid, which is why you get inflammation. When you get rid of that, your body needs more salt to stay hydrated too. So just in general, eating salt is good. Like, eat as much salt as you crave.
How much salt?
As much as you crave. If you crave, as long as you're eating the pink salt, if you crave it, that means your body needs minerals. So I will just, eat salt sometimes. I've been doing this for years. Years. I also sweat a lot. I exercise a lot and sweat a lot. Sweating is great. So I do power yoga at the yoga shop. Yoga shop. So, and I sweat a lot, so I eat a lot of salt. Like, I'll eat nuts, and I'll lick them, and I'll dip them in salt, and they're just covered in salt, and that's how I eat them. Cheese, I'll dip in salt. So, and I've been doing this for years. All of these things that people say, you're going to die of a heart attack. I would be dead 10 times already. Like, I had my blood pressure checked recently, just I was curious. It was 92/58. And that's with eating more salt than you've ever thought anyone could eat. I just eat so much salt. But I crave it, but when I don't crave it, I don't eat it anymore. But usually after I sweat, I crave it. So eat what you need. When you're eating the pink salt, your body's will tell you that it needs more. You'll feel better. That will give you energy. Water and electrolytes, which is salt, gives you energy, electrical energy in your body. That's why I call it electrolytes. Food doesn't really give you energy. Food heals you. Water and salt gives you energy. Like, on 3 days a week, I actually fast for 24 hours. So I just don't eat breakfast or lunch, and I eat dinner. So I ate dinner last night, and I'll eat dinner tonight. But I haven't eaten anything all day. No food. I just drink a lot of water, have a kombucha, but I have a ton of energy. And I'm like, I've been doing this for years. 3 days a week I do this. The other days I only eat lunch and dinner. I fast until lunch. Because as you're eating more fat and less sugar, you're just not as hungry, but you have more and more and more energy. So water, so that gave me energy just drinking that water.
Is that why the coaches have the athletes to drink a lot of the
Yeah,
salt?
they drink the electrolytes
Because
because,
of the electrolytes?
yeah, because they're sweating out all these vital, important minerals. But Powerade and Gatorade is garbage. It's just fructose, high fructose corn syrup. It's chemicals. It's color. We have electrolytes here that are really good. The Superior, that's what I like. It's made with Himalayan salt. Or you could just eat salt.
You have the Himalayan salt.
You have some Himalayan salt. So salt. Brush your teeth. If you're craving something, just brush your teeth and then it won't taste good. Isn't it? It's a good trick. Some people use that. Get enough sleep. When you don't get enough sleep, you're going to want more sugar and more carbs and crave more food. It's just a fact. Sometimes when you're thirsty, you think you're hungry. Sometimes when you're tired, you think you're hungry. People think they're hungry all the time. They're not. You're tired. You're thirsty. You're not really hungry, right? And just let it go. Let it go. Just say, you know what? I don't need that stupid sugar, and then don't eat it. You're in control, right? It's mind over matter. It's like whatever you think, whatever you tell yourself. Like I told myself I hated sugar, and then when I ate that chocolate 6 months later, I spit it out because I told myself I hated sugar. I think I convinced myself that I hated sugar. You can tell yourself anything, you visualize anything, and tell yourself, I don't like that. Just say, oh, I don't like that. You want some chocolate cake? No, I don't like that. And then your brain will be like, oh, I guess we don't like that anymore, so I don't want it. Or you can tell your brain, like, you can visualize anything. Think about, it's just one of these movies that we watch, think about if you're in another country and you're trying to talk to them about, like, where's the bathroom, and no one understands what you're talking about. But if you draw a picture, they'll know exactly what you're talking about. Because the brain understands visual images. And the brain understands things you tell the brain. So if you visualize, like, sugar's disgusting, or if you visualize loving kale, or whatever it is, or you just tell yourself, you talk good to yourself, you talk to yourself, I don't like that, oh, I don't like that. Your brain will be like, okay, we don't like that. Or you look at a picture of yourself when you were healthy, and your brain says, oh, that's what you want? Okay, that's the visual you want? I didn't know that. It's amazing. But think about it. You draw a picture for anyone in any language, they'll know exactly what you're talking about if you just draw a picture. The brain understands that. They're not necessarily language all the time, right? But talking yourself good, talking yourself positively, telling yourself what you want to think, telling yourself what you want to believe. You'll eventually believe it. And also visualizing what you want. So artificial sweeteners, terrible. Your brain thinks it's sugar and releases insulin, so there's no point. If you're releasing insulin, you're damaging your body. So your brain thinks that these sweeteners are sugar and they release insulin, and now sugar's better than these things. Because these things damage your brain. They're neurotoxins. They cause toxicity in your brain and damage your nervous system. So you're better off eating sugar than this. You're still gonna gain weight. Huh?
Sugar in the raw is probably better.
Sugar in the raw is still sugar. It's all sugar.
But it's
Oh yeah, sugar in the raw is better than any artificial sweetener, but it's all bad, but this is worse.
Yeah.
That is worse.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah, the brown packaging, they're better. If you have to eat them, you want.
See that? 2 sips. No more water. Yay, I'm free for the rest of the day. So what do you eat, right? So what do you eat? You eat just avocados. Okay, you can go home. No, avocado. You eat lots and lots and lots of healthy meat and healthy fat. Mostly you should eat fat for energy. So you eat grass-fed meat. You eat organic chicken, organic pastured pork, lots and lots of organic eggs, grass-fed dairy, butter. If you don't like broccoli, melt a lot of butter on it. It makes it healthier for you, and it's getting you to eat broccoli, right? So mostly it's going to be healthy fat. Avocado, olives, fatty meat. As long as it's good meat, fatty meat. Pastured chicken wings, because it has the fat and has the skin on it, it has the tendons. All of those things. We used to eat the entire animal. If you eat the entire animal, then you're getting everything you need. If you're eating just the white meat, you're not getting anything. The white meat is the least healthy part of any animal. It's the worst for you. You're better off with the dark meat, with the wings, with the skin, with the tendons. That's what you need. The organs, the bones, and then when you're finished eating everything, including the heart, whatever, and the kidneys, if you want to eat that. Right. When you're finished, that's how we used to eat. No one wasted anything because you had to kill an animal and eat it. When you're finished with it, you make soup with the bones, and that's bone broth, and that heals your gut. So we have to think that way. Like, what are we really designed? How are we designed to eat? We're designed to eat the whole animal. Every part of the animal is good for you, is what your body needs. God put that on this earth for you to eat the whole thing, not to eat the breast and then throw the rest of it away, right? So if you're going to eat chicken wings, not chicken breast.
But essentially, our body manufactures, it creates its own protein. It makes its own.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't make.
No.
You tell me we don't manufacture. We don't necessarily manufacture ours.
We make some amino acids, but you need to get protein from outside sources. You can't make protein.
I'm saying, but it converted into the
protein.
It turns what we eat into the protein the body needs.
Yes, but it doesn't make fat. Like you can get enough protein from a breast, but you're not going to get fat unless you eat the chicken wing. You're not going to get the collagen unless you eat the bone. Does that make sense? So we can take the protein and make it a usable amino acid, but your body's not going to make fat unless you have to put fat in. You have to put fat into your body.
It uses it for whatever.
And right, so you put all of that. So it's just that's how we're designed. That's how what we're supposed to do with these animals is eat the whole animal. And so, some of these supplements like collagen powder, bone broth. That's because we don't eat that anymore. So you eat the fatty meat. You eat we have local pastured bacon with no sugar. If you like, for my son, I make chicken breast and we wrap it in. Well, my husband does. I don't cook. And he wraps it in bacon, and that makes it healthier. Because it's as long as it's pastured bacon with no sugar, as long as it's good quality grass-fed beef, you eat the fat. You eat the fatty fish.
What about the skin?
And eat the skin. Always eat the skin. The chicken skin. And pork rinds. We have healthy pork rinds here. From pastured pork, deep fried in lard, pastured lard, and that's good, and that's nice and crunchy, and there's no carbs, and that's good for you. Your body needs that. So that's what your body needs, is this healthy fat. That's the fuel it needs. That's the energy it needs. That's how you get healthy. That's how you have a healthy brain. Your brain is made up of fat. If you don't eat enough fat, you're going to get dementia and Alzheimer's.
So good. So essentially, what I saw as a kid in the South, from the kettle and the crackling, and
yes.
And okay. So that was
back.
I grew up and that's what and you have the lard.
Right.
And
that's how we're all supposed to eat.
You're not even a good chicken eater unless you eat the bones.
Right. Exactly. You should eat the bones. Eat the bones or make bone broth. Right. Exactly. But that's the people around the world who eat this way don't have heart disease, don't have cancer, don't need glasses, don't have anything wrong with their teeth, and live to 110. Look at the Eskimos. All they eat is lard, and not lard, but all they eat is blubber. And they have the lowest rate of heart disease, except the ones that have been westernized and eat rice and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But if you look at different cultures around the world, it could be Eskimos, it could be the mountains of Ecuador, it could be in Russia and parts of Russia and parts of Japan. They're eating different foods, but they're eating fat, and they're eating what's found right there locally, and they're eating a lot of fat.
So raising your own hogs are not a bad idea.
That's a great idea. So I see a lot of people who grew up in Puerto Rico or Jamaica or Dominican Republic, and they say, well, I don't eat anything different here, really. I'm like, but the meat is different. You know, it's not in your backyard anymore. It's just garbage meat that's raised in a farm, and they're fed genetically modified soy and corn, and now the chicken is sick.
Yeah.
So and they gain weight and they get sick because they're just eating bad quality meat, even if they're eating the same thing.
Wow.
So that's what you eat. And then you eat vegetables. So you eat fatty meat, a lot of fat, deep fry things in coconut oil and avocado oil, and eat lots of avocados, and then eat meat, and then eat vegetables. Eat salad and vegetables. But it's not like all vegetables. It's not like eat vegetables first. You eat fat first. Put fat on your vegetables.
What about bread? Anything, any
There's
acceptable bread?
no.
Nothing?
No bread?
No. You can, no, yes. I know, I'm just kidding. But the only acceptable bread is keto. Like we have keto bread here. It's expensive, but you can eat it. It's almond flour and coconut flour. But you can find recipes online.
Ezekiel.
No.
No?
Ezekiel is better. If you're, okay, so you may have to transition your diet. You may have to like go from eating all sugar and white bread to eating Ezekiel bread. That's a step in the right direction. But it's not, you don't stay there. So it's fine. Like my kids eat some Ezekiel bread and that's fine. But it's not like good. It's not good. It's better. Eat less of it. Use it to get off bread, like as a stepping stone. Some people can't just stop, and that's fine. No, most people can't just stop all this. You may have to just do less and less. Like it's gonna all be individual. One thing at a time. I mean, some people will go home and they'll never eat sugar again, and that's great. And some people won't, and that's fine. Just eat less. Like do Ezekiel bread instead of white bread. But don't think like, hey, I can eat this all day, or this is good. It's like, just do it when you like really have to, and enjoy it, and then just try not to do it. Just try to get off the habit.
What about that flourless bread?
Flourless bread, right? Almond flour, coconut flour, bread. Yes, you can make bread with almond flour and coconut flour. We sell keto bread here. We sell Mikey's muffins that's made with almond flour and coconut flour. But you can make these things at home. It's a little more effort, right? It's like making almond flour and coconut flour desserts. It's the same thing.
Wow.
How about beans?
Beans are carby, so don't eat too many. I know.
They're high fiber.
Yeah, fiber is not necessarily the best thing. I'm just going to tell you the opposite of anything anyone ever told you. That's what today's all about. If someone told you that, just think it's the opposite. But no, fiber is not necessarily the best thing for your body anyway. Fat is. Fiber is it can bind you up too much. It's hard to digest. It's really hard to digest. It's okay to have some fiber, but not to like take excess fiber. Right? It's just not necessary. Lettuce? Yeah, salad is great. Raw vegetables are great. Yeah, that's great. But just put olive oil on it so you have a healthy fat. And avocados, whatever, nuts. Nuts are great. Raw or sprouted, but not roasted, because roasting changes the fat in the nut. So I eat a lot of nuts, but I eat a lot of sprouted nuts. And then I add salt, obviously. But you can eat raw nuts.
My husband doesn't eat a lot of vegetables.
Okay.
He's more like protein
Yeah, just add more fat.
and bread.
Right. So add more fat and reduce the bread, right? Or give him keto bread. And then, no. Add more fat. If you add more fat to your diet, you're not going to be as hungry and you're not going to want as many carbs. So add more fat first. And then like adding the good things will a lot of times push away the bad. So adding good healthy fat will fill you up and then you won't eat as much. So if you like corn chips, at least get organic ones, eat them with guacamole. Just try to eat more guacamole than corn chips. But if you just eat corn chips, you'll eat a whole bag. But if you eat with the guacamole is good for you, you'll eat this many corn chips, just eat more guacamole. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Adding more fat will fill you up. Fat fills you up and satisfies you. Nothing else fills you up and satisfies you like fat, nothing.
So is it a myth, the good and the bad cholesterol?
No,
Is
not
the
really.
LDA and the B?
Yeah,
Is
not
that true?
fully, not fully. So there's good fat and bad fat. The bad fat is from animals raised badly. That's bad fat.
That raised what?
Badly. Factory farms. Cow that eats soy and other dead cows is bad fat. A pig that is in a factory farm that doesn't root around outside is bad fat. And that will damage you. Canola oil, vegetable oil, bad fat.
So Crisco.
Crisco is bad. Lard is good, Crisco is, but lard has to be from a pastured pig. So any kind of sunflower, safflower, canola, all bad, all inflammatory. If you want to increase your good cholesterol, just exercise. That's all. Exercise, sweat, and be out of breath, and you'll increase your good cholesterol. You guys had enough? You guys more?
How can I
There's-
cover all this?
What, is this enough? You guys done? I mean, I knew I had a lot of slides, and I didn't think I was going to get through all of them. But if you guys want, I mean, the rest of it is just a little bit talking about exercise, which you just want to sweat, and you want to be out of breath. That may, one person may be jogging like this, the other person may be sprinting.
Everybody's different.
Everyone's different. If you're sweating and you're out of breath, then you're benefiting. And you could do anything you want to sweat and be out of breath. Doesn't matter. Right? This is just talking about low glycemic and high glycemic. Most fruits are high glycemic, some are low glycemic. Here's foods to avoid. We talked about these. Well, if you want to fry potato, if you want to like have a day where you cheat, you fry potatoes in coconut oil or avocado oil, that's fine. But fried foods out, it's gonna be fried in a really bad oil. But you can make it. You can fry food yourself. So I don't like that slide.
Are you frying in your oven?
Huh?
Frying in your oven?
You're better off deep frying it in like coconut oil, avocado oil, so you get more fat. You want more healthy fat. So that's good. You know, stress increases your blood sugar. So what reduces your stress? You have to be happy. You have to have fun. You have to exercise. You have to lighten up. You have to have a hobby. Don't take everything so seriously. Everyone, I have to tell like 10 people a day, you need to have more fun. You have to have some fun. So stress, and there's always going to be stressors. How do you respond to those stressors? If you respond by freaking out, you have to work on your response. Because it's your response that's the stress. It's not what's happening to you. What's happening to you isn't the stress. How you respond to whatever's happening to you, that's the stress, and that is going to increase your blood sugar. Like eating sugar. Being under stress is like eating sugar. So have more fun and eat more chicken wings. Thank you. No, kidding. Bam, mic drop. So, guys, have any questions? Ask me questions. I could scroll through these. There's so. Oh, you got to get adjusted. Getting adjusted helps heal the nerve damage by the sugar. Getting adjusted helps your body heal from everything. Heals the nerve damage. Increases your immune system response. Reduces how your body responds to stress. Reduces the actual stress in your cells. So if you're not a patient, make an appointment with Andrea with Joy, and we'll check. We'll see what's going on, so that you can heal. You want to heal from everything. So you have to get adjusted even before you stop eating sugar. Like when Michelle said, she got adjusted first, and then we changed her diet. You have to have a healthy, functioning body, right, in order. This is how your body works. Like, look how your body works. Your nervous system runs every single organ in your body. Your brain sends signals through your spinal cord out your nerves. The adjustment takes the pressure off your spinal cord so your brain can talk to those organs and they can heal.
That's true.
If you have any symptom, you need to get checked. You have to get your nervous system checked. It's not just about diet. Diet is number 2. This is number 1 always. Today we focused on sugar, yes, but this is always number 1. Having your brain communicate with your organs is always number 1. I've seen people heal from diabetes without changing their diet because they get adjusted. I've seen people get off their high blood pressure medication from getting adjusted. I've seen people in a wheelchair walk from getting adjusted, not because I heal them, because that power in your brain that made your body heals your body. That's number one. And who do you know that should have been here today, right? How many people needed to hear it? That's why I did it on Facebook. You can tell them to watch it on Facebook. You can refer them in, whatever you need. But there's a lot of people who are really sick who have no idea at all that they could get better.
Where on Facebook?
On my page, Essential Health CT. Essential Health CT. So I put this on Facebook. So remember that you have to take care of your nervous system. You have to eat healthy. You have to move your body. You have to sleep, and you have to have a good attitude and have fun. Those are the essentials. Those aren't just good ideas. You have to do those things. You have to drink water. You have to do those things to be healthy. If you just do one of those things, you're not going to be healthy, right? But you have to do all those things.
How much water do you recommend every day?
64 ounces of just pure water with nothing in it. You can drink extra water with electrolytes or whatever. So if you're not a patient, you can schedule a free consultation for today, okay? Not for now, but you can schedule that for today. So any questions? So many. Just mine, just...
So you can go back to the
Go ahead. Well, go ahead.
I put a doTERRA essential oil in my water. It
That's
improves the
fine.
taste.
Yes, but you want to have water with and nothing in it. You want like at least 48 ounces of water with no essential oil in it, because it'll hydrate you better. But then the rest of it, you can put your doTERRA in. It's fine. You want to have most of your water with nothing, not even lemon, and then you can have some with lemon.
So you can revisit and study this again, so we did.
Yeah, I do. That's why I do a class every month, so that we just kind of revisit all these things. It takes a while. We hear it a few times. Maybe you change everything. Maybe you pick up one thing.
Can we have information the natural way, like foods or
You can, but sometimes you just don't get enough. That's all.
like what kind of thing?
It's just an amino acid, glutamine. I have a supplement, it's a powder. I put like a little teeny bit of powder in like a smoothie every day. You don't even need a lot of it. You just need a little bit. That little jar lasts me like 6 months to a year. You don't take a lot of it. Because too much isn't good either, right? But, all right. Bye, Facebook.